Hello everybody, Travis here for Tpull's Corner, and I recently burned some mythic rare wild cards to get 4 copies of Luxior, but the deck that I made, although it was a Super Friends deck, I didn't need all 4 copies of Luxior in there, so I thought, why don't I go ahead and create a deck that would call having 4 copies of Luxior, and for some reason I thought of Koth. I enjoy this Planeswalker a lot. Don't always get to play with him quite as much. And that may be because Koth kind of inspires you to run all mountains, right? Kind of inspires you to do mono red, which is the way the card is. Because we got Argoth out already. And Sunken Citadel, eh? What if we got rid of Argoth? Another Sunken Citadel. Okay. Alright, it is time for Koth.
Mercy, I'll shape the earth itself.
It's easy to build up Koth fast, and that means it's easy to get to his emblem. We just need 2 uninterrupted turns to beef him up, and then 1 turn to activate the emblem. And since I already have 4 copies of Koth, it does make things kind of easy. 2 counters. They got a lot of specialty lands, don't they? Let's see. We get another mountain.
Retake this land from Phyrexia.
We play another Field of Ruin. Get rid of this and get 2 more spirit tokens. They get haste. And as long as they don't have a haste attacker, we get an emblem with Koth next turn. Okay, emblem. Mountain.
We fight for Mirrodin, and Mirrodin fights for us.
Burn down the house gives us 3 more creatures. And we attack with everybody, so that if they want to hit Koth with the poison dart frog, they can. But they're down to 1 life, so I don't see how they get out of this. That seemed a little too easy. We didn't even have Luxior show up. Alright, let's go ahead and show you the full deck list. And this is called the Gift of Resistance. Mainly because of the name of Luxior. Luxior is known as Giada's Gift. And then we have Koth, Fire of Resistance. And so basically, Koth is the main star. I have 4 copies of him. I also have 3 copies of Jaya, Fiery Negotiator. +1, you can create a 1/1 red monk creature token with prowess that you see pictured to the right there. -1, you can exile the top 2 cards of your library. Choose one of them. You can play that card this turn. -2, choose target creature an opponent controls. Whenever you attack this turn, Jaya deals damage equal to the number of attacking creatures to that creature. So, since we have a couple of creatures that can come out and attack with haste, that might be a surprise damage there. And her emblem, whenever you cast a red instant or sorcery spell, copy it twice, and you can choose new copies. We have those 7 Planeswalkers, and we have 2 of Chandra, Hope's Beacon. This one from March of the Machines. Again, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy it, just like Jaya's emblem. For +2, you can add 2 mana in a combination of any colors. +1, exile the top 5 cards of your library. You can cast instant or sorcery spell from among those exiled cards. Or -X and do X damage to each of up to 2 targets. So we've got 9 Planeswalkers in here. And we've got 4 copies of Luxior, Giada's Gift. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each counter on it. And when we equip a Planeswalker, it only costs 1 mana to equip a Planeswalker. And suddenly it becomes a creature and not a Planeswalker anymore. But all of its loyalty counters are still there. You can still add on to the loyalty counters. And all of those counters count as +1/+1s. So even if you're at a default Koth, you can become a 4/4 creature all of a sudden and attack with Koth. Straight to the face. The other things to help us out in the deck, we got 1 End the Festivities, 1 Flame Blessed Bolt, 1 Lithomantic Barrage, it does 5 damage against white and blue targets, 1 Strangle, and a couple of X spells. Mishra's Command, you can choose 2 of 4 different options, and Song of Totem-Taz. Create 1/1 Black Rat creature tokens that have haste until end of turn, although they can't block. So a lot of these 1-drops, those will be coming kind of nice if we get the emblem out for Jaya, or just get Chandra out and start copying stuff so we can double the value. We've got 1 Abrade to maybe deal with pesky artifacts, and 4 copies of Ral's Reinforcement so we can get some creature tokens in there. A card we don't see used a lot, Alluring Suitor. And you attack with 2 creatures, exactly 2 creatures, you transform Alluring Suitor. So it doesn't have to be attacking with Alluring Suitor. Maybe we attack with 2 copies of Ral's Reinforcements, and that will trigger the transformation. But when he transforms into Deadly Dancer, you get to add 2 more red mana, and you don't lose the mana as steps and phases end. And then in the meantime, we'd probably use that to cast other spells, but the Deadly Dancer and another target creature would each get +1 to their strength until end of turn for every 2 red mana that you spend. So you could, I guess if you were attacking with the Alluring Suitor and you got the 2, you could spend it right away, so you've turned it from a 2/3 attacker suddenly into a 4/3 attacker unexpectedly. So that could be a little combat tactic. Or you could use the 2 mana for something else, like Volt Charge, 3 damage to any target, Proliferate. Red doesn't have a ton of Proliferate spells, but that I think matches in nicely with our Planeswalkers. 1 copy of Mechanized Warfare. Red or artifact source you control deals damage to an opponent or permanent an opponent controls, it deals that much damage +1 instead. And Rumbling Rockside deals damage to target creature equal to the number of lands you control, and with Koth we're just kind of finding it easy to keep adding to our land total. And 1 nice kind of bomb that can happen later in the game, Seize the Storm. Create red elemental creature token with Trample. Its power and toughness are equal to the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard, plus the number of cards with flashback you own in exile. And this is a card that has flashback, so it counts. 2 copies of Burn Down the House for either creating additional 1/1 targets or just doing a 5 damage board wipe. We've got 4 Autonomous Furnaces, so we can draw cards if we need to. 1 Sokunzan to create a couple of other spirit creature tokens. I only have 2 Hidden Volcanoes, so we can discover for 4, and then 2 Fields of Ruin. And 15 Mountains should be enough with Koth to get those out a lot. And so only 4 creatures. The rest is mostly, we've got 18 instants and sorceries altogether. And then, of course, the 9 Planeswalkers. That's the idea. Let's see how many other cards in the deck we can play with. I'm not sure if you want to call this mono red aggro. It's not like we can kill them on turn 4 with what we've got. But unless they've got the spells that do -1 or -2, -2 to across the entire field, or Path of Perils, we might do good against black if they have to stick with single target removal. Let's try Alluring Suitor out. Makes another easy target. They're ready with removal, and they're matching us on the land drop. Let's do another Rouse Reinforcements, and Luxior can come out now. I haven't quite figured out the part of this. Lochthwain Scorn, you gain 2 life. Why does this Virtue of Persistence gain you 2 life? I don't know. Okay, we will equip Luxior here just to do something with our mana. There's no counters on it, so it doesn't quite matter that much at this point. Like a pure removal deck.
Things are getting heated, and the experience will do you good.
Since they've got such big removals here, let's not make Jaya into a creature just yet. We'll wait and see. Up, we got Hero's Downfall again, so...
So much for peaceful negotiations.
That's 5 straight removal spells. How about a call?
Stop Mirrodin is our land.
Look at that.
It can't end this way.
They have everything they need. So it's just a 100% removal deck. Alright, let's keep going. These have haste at least. Half dead. And they don't really have creatures they can get with Virtue of Persistence. And they can't get Planeswalkers out of that. And we've got a couple of... let's see. No, there's nothing for us to add for that. We've got a couple of removal spells. Not nearly as many as black does, but... I'm feeling pretty comfortable about the state of affairs. It's like, what can you do... All of our... We've got one creature, right? Alluring Suitor. That's what they could get if they managed to get Virtue of Persistence out. And we're spending... Will normally be a 5-mana spell at its max to get rid of a 1/1. Just ridiculous. And this will be lethal. And so an interesting strategy. Trying to go almost 100% removal spells. There are limits to that strategy with this game. Especially because there are so many spells that you use to create tokens. I always felt lousy when I had to use a magic spell to get rid of a token. Token's not even a real creature. How can it be a threat? But the designers actually have grown to love tokens over at Wizards of the Coast. Not sure if you've noticed the past few years, but more and more spells create tokens. They've been steering us that way. It's kind of hard not to go along with that flow. And so you can see that my deck mostly consists of tokens. Because that's the type of spells that they've been giving us. 'Cause 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 ' And of course, we do need 5 lands to make everything work. So if we get land starved, we're going to run into trouble like always. We do have a lot of cheap spells to start with, so we're not completely dead in the water, but missing land drops is going to be the death of us. Lithomantic Barrage is not going to help against a green-black deck that much. If they can't bargain that away now, Barrage will work though. So they use a 3-mana spell on a 1/1. Okay, so we'll make good with the Barrage. We'll just attack. Feel good about that one. Would feel better if I was getting some land at some point. Like me. And still no land. We got a second legendary artifact, which does not help us. The third collective nightmare. Do we ever get another land for the entire match? Yes, we got a land! Okay, what can we do with it? I guess we get rid of this to start with. Giving it Death Touch is cute, but completely worthless. We are going to do this. Because if all they have is spells like Collective Nightmare, again you're in a place where you're dealing against black and they have to do single one-on-one removal. And that's not going to help. Well, that may help them if they're able to get that kind of draw card advantage. They're going to draw 2 every time. They might be able to outpace us.
Frankly, destruction is best left to the professionals. Go on, impress me.
We're going to need some ability to do something against us, right? Because we can create a 1/1 creature every single turn now. I have to choose one to sacrifice. I choose that one, and we get rid of the swarm. That didn't work out that well. Ah, they have a replacement ready. Okay. Just a land. That's a good time to exile the top 2 cards of our library.
I strive for elegance and speed in my work.
That's lovely. And then we just
Plan?
attack.
Fire doesn't need a plan.
You take out the 2/2, that only makes sense. And we can add a couple of mana.
Fuel up.
We're not going to really do anything with it. In the meantime, their arena is going to help in killing them, maybe.
You're no match for my students.
Let's Go big.
And we're just waiting for a good moment to activate Luxior. We want to see, can we do something without getting just land? We're due for something besides just land. We want them to use any removal spell. There we go. Perfect. Use your removal spells on those things. Go this here. Now let's see.
If there can be no victory,
Let's
then I
get
will
damage
fight
there.
forever.
Get rid of you.
Catch
Activate
this!
Luxior. Equip for 1. And we be done. And that's the beauty of Luxior, is that you can really, if you're afraid of the creature getting removed, you don't have to activate it right away. You don't have to equip it onto a planeswalker. You can just sort of keep it on the field. If they can't get rid of it, it sort of becomes a surprise weapon later. They may forget about it. They may see it coming and just not be able to do anything about it. How many cards do you have? Oh, there's white. Maybe we can make good with Lithomantic Barrage. We shall see. A Demolition Field. 1/1 planes or 1/1 Death Touch. Let's go ahead and force them to choose a color. Not sure how nice that was. You know what? I think we're okay with getting rid of Gallagreeters now like that. Notice we missed a land drop again. There we go. Now we're going to be cooking with gas. You can hit me for 1/1 all you want, but Koth has a +2. They throw away a wedding announcement because they don't have any white mana? Alright, now it doesn't matter that we're missing our land drops because
Yes,
now
I'll never
we're going to make our
forget the
land
home we
drops.
lost.
That's... Bye, Julie. Nice fighting you. They might have had a problem with getting the right colors. I'm not sure if that was fair for them. Yeah, if I can get 5 lands, the deck works, or if I can get 4 lands in a Koth, we're pretty much set for the rest. Okay, again, long-time viewers will know, I'll repeat this here, we're often not allowed to put more than 2 5-drops in our deck, or we start getting them in the opening hands. And we might not get enough lands to use them before the game is over. We shall see. But I do have a 6-drop Planeswalker, so I'm courting disaster by having more than 2 cards that cost 5 or more. I don't know if Arena punishes others for that, but sometimes I get punished. I don't think we use removal on that, do we? Just try out one of our few creatures, try and draw some early removal, easy removal. Let's see, they can sacrifice that for 1.
I came to talk, but if you'd rather fight, bring it on. Taught them everything they know.
We just passed. Right now we're defending the Planeswalker to build it up. That can make things difficult. That does not help them really. Actually, do I keep it? Yeah, because they can cast this Virtue of Loyalty immediately next turn. So we want to get rid of whatever they've got, including the gnome. Puts us up to 6. Get us another prowess, so we can another token with
Get
prowess.
out there and blaze a path.
Maybe we can attack next turn and transform the suitor. Do you cast a regular spell or just throw out? That's a good target for Field of Rune. Another Bitter Reunion. Throw away an extra land. And a dog. What are you gonna do? Attack the Planeswalker? Go ahead.
You lack sizzle.
Okay, so we've got 2 creatures. How do we want to do this? That's a sorcery, not instant. Okay, so we create this now. We cast
You're
this
no
spell.
match for my students.
These. We'll go ahead and throw the land down. We attack with 2. We get 2 red mana, we transform that. We hit these for 5. And then we get rid of the dog and still proliferate our Planeswalker one more time. So we can maybe get the emblem right away, which will make things very interesting with the burn down the house. They're going to exile everything, and we're going to get rid of the Restless Bivouac. Incubate for 5? And they transform it already. Interesting. If I do this... You know what? Let's do the emblem. Let's do the emblem.
Well, I'm going home. In another lifetime, the time for subtlety is over.
Their life is down often enough. Oh, I don't think I read that right. we don't just get to copy it, we get to copy it twice. I did not read that closely enough about Jaya this entire time. For the mind's sake, when we cast red instant or sorcery, copy it twice. That's a lot of damage. And when's the last time you saw someone you smashed to dust? Oh, I can't say good game. I'm gonna hit myself for damage if I try and use an emote. Okay, there. They were trying to trick me by waiting to say good damage to that point. They wanted me to direct some damage at myself. Have we got undefeated so far? We're not used to this. That's 5 straight wins? does Arena allow this? It's a trap. They want me to take this into ranked, and they want me to get just completely demolished. I'm not falling for that trick again, Arena. Most of these are spells that are better left for later in the game, like Seize the Storm or Song of Totenez. You don't really want those up front. I'll take Flame Blessed Bolt up front. And we missed a land drop. Oh, lovely. Thank you, Arena, for making us miss land drops for half of our battles. It's just so fun. It makes the game so fun. Our opponent does not miss a land drop. Of course not. That's an artifact. Goodbye. Still missing land drops. Okay, we did win 5 in a row. Arena does have to do something. They can't just sit there and let us win with a good deck. Where would the fun in that be? They just get exactly what they had before. Strangle. And they probably don't have white or blue, right? So we'll just use the barrage. That wasn't going to be good for anything else. And it's not like we're doing anything else with any of these spells, so they'll just have a third one, right? This is their strategy. They gotta have the catapult out and then cast all their other instants and sorceries. Still no land. 3, 6, 7. Well, opponent does not miss a land drop. It is now 6 lands to 4. Completely even fight. Very fair, Arena. Just for the newer players, in case something happens and you win a lot of battles, this is what Arena does to you. We try and get rid of Electrostatic, but they probably have another instant they can use to pump it up and save it. Because they have 6 lands, and they have a bunch of cheap spells, and they can afford to do that, whereas we cannot. They didn't. We got one. It would be hilarious if I was able to win with only 2 lands, but the deck cannot win with only 2 lands. Okay, it's too little too late. We'll see. We can get rid of this one. Notice they gave me the most expensive spell while they were land starving. I only have 2 of these in the deck, but we got one already. Another dead card we can't cast. Another dead card we can't cast. I could get 2 black rats. You think that's enough to win? We did pretty good so far. We made them think. Look, they're scared. They're not doing anything.
You know what's happened to all my enemies? They're toast.
I see what you did there, Jaya. Three damage?
No manners. What a shame.
Are they going to exchange a card? They're exchanging a card. They're digging for help. Two volcanic spikes.
Can't snap. Go on. Impress me.
Of course. Of course. That's all they need to close out the game. I only had 1 Abrade. I can't do anything against artifacts there, can I? Yeah, that's kind of a useless card for the most part. I'm not going to be able to catch up. Don't really have life gain. And we still have a dead card here. Yeah, why couldn't they keep drawing lands? Alright, 4 damage to target creature, and we can discard stuff. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Target me, do 4 damage to Urabrask, auto pay. Get rid of... I guess we keep the rats. We'll get rid of those two. One more good burn spell and they got us. 5. Auto pay. Attack with the rats. Mechanized warfare is not helping us because these are not red. Okay, there's an 8/8. We can block the 4/4, but if they've got something to beef up the infantry, we're dead. These can't block anyway, so it didn't do me any good to keep those in reserve. But this has to be an instant, right, to beef this up. Otherwise, it's only going to deal 1 point of damage. They're not attacking with it. They're going to use it just to block? I have trample. What are they doing? If that's a spell you can cast, you should have attacked in with the infantry. Is it like a damaged creature only thing and they're gonna... Okay, so they do 5 there. Okay, they wanted to kill me that turn, so do the damage to the creature. Yeah. Well, we made it closer than I thought it was gonna be, but Arena land starved us just enough to make things impossible. Yeah, Urabrask Forge was kind of the clincher right there already. And of course making sure they got exactly the right spell that they needed instead of, you know, maybe another land. They got dealt all the land they needed until they didn't need land anymore, and then for the most part they stopped getting land. What a coincidence. Okay, enough complaining about the way Arena artificially manipulates everything. This is a fun deck. 4 costs, 3 Jayas, 2 Chandras, and mix it in with Luxior, and even if they have a way to get rid of artifacts, this should pop up often enough that you're able to use that. I mean, unless you're being land starved, right? Okay, but we've covered that. And I think I've got the right mix of enough 1-drops and 2-drops to kind of keep us alive, a little bit of removal. A lot of this is just to take advantage of the emblem for Jaya if we get it, so that, you know, if I cast 1 Strangle, I can do 6 damage to a creature planeswalker instead of 3. And this is just lovely. If we can get it out. And that emblem works out great. That's copy it twice. That works out so much better than I thought I was going to. I thought that was just a copy once. So, yeah, read the cards carefully. You learn something new every time. We even got to transform the Alluring Suitor once. That was fun. So, go ahead and let me know what you think of the deck. As always, we ask you to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.